Great Day TV, we're talking the law, and we have Chris Garrison here from the Garrison Law Firm, and what to do if you have an accident. You slip and fall, what are you going to do? Well, are you ready?
I'm ready if you're ready.
Okay. From a legal standpoint, what do you do if you're injured in an accident? These are the basics. You tell me.
Well, what I want people to understand is this is something that they need to think about ahead of time. I know that doesn't sound like something you would normally do, but that's what I'm doing for you here today, is kind of giving you your plan ahead. What happens if I get hurt, whether it's in a car accident, slip and fall, product, whatever.
And this could be for any age, too.
This could be for any age.
Not just for the older folks,
no.
but for any age.
Not just for us, but it could be for other people, too.
I see what you did there. Okay.
I know, I caught you with that. So, to plan ahead, there are certain things you need to do when an accident has happened. The first thing is, obviously, assess whether you've had an injury. Because if you don't want to be doing something that will exacerbate your problem or even hurt you. In most cases, people are going to still be ambulatory. They're going to be able to do some of the things that I want to talk about.
Okay.
You know, obviously, if you're unconscious or you're in such bad shape, you're not going to be able to do these things. But assuming that you've had your basic, I'm hurt, I think it's somebody else's fault, what do I do? First thing you got to do is figure out how it happened to you. I have so many clients that come in, say, from a slip and fall, and I'll say, well, what caused you to fall? Well, I don't know. What, you didn't look and see what it was? No, I was in pain and I just didn't think about that. You know, I didn't see what caused me to fall.
Oh, no.
And of course, in their case, they're going to have to prove what made them fall, because it's got to be somebody else's fault, not theirs, if they're going to recover. They don't just get to recover because they fell on somebody else's property. Same thing if you're in a car accident. I mean, a lot of times when you're not at fault, you don't even know until the car stops and you've had a few seconds to kind of get your wits about you. Even then, you may not be real sure what happened. It's always a good idea to try to figure out what happened. You know, did somebody run a stop sign? Did they sideswipe me? What happened? And that's important to know as soon as you can know it. Then, of course, once you've done that, if there's witnesses, please get witness information. I see this all the time, too. Yeah, there were 4 people there, and they all came up and said it was the other guy's fault. And, well, who are they? Well, I don't know, you know. Well, the best thing you do, and the quickest thing you do, is ask them if they got a business card.
Oh, good idea.
You know, because that gives you at least a good start. And if they have a business card and say, could you write your cell number on the back of it for me? But get it somehow. Get that information. Because they may not stick around for a police report, or they may not, you know, stick around to go help make an incident report if you fell on somebody's property. So those are things that are very important, particularly in a case where there may be some question about who was at fault. After you've done that, if there's anything that could, a picture might help. You know, everybody's got a cell phone. Take the phone out and take a picture.
Because you may not remember it. It looks different than the way you remember it. So take a picture. So
take a picture.
You get it right. And you may not be as cognizant as you should be. So you want to make sure you get it. Okay.
Yeah. The picture will paint 1,000 words, as they say. So that is very helpful. Maybe not in every case there's something you take a picture of, but usually if you're in a trip and fall or a slip and fall, particularly, a photograph of what made you fall is worth 1,000 words, as we say. The next thing is to make a report. If you've been injured in an accident that's somebody else's fault, you got to prove a couple different things. You got to prove, number one, that it even happened. How many times has somebody come into my office and they slipped and fell in some establishment and they were embarrassed? Very normal for people to be embarrassed. They pop up, they take off, they never tell anybody what happens. 3 days later, you know,
then they're in pain.
They're in real pain. Turned out to be something serious, and unless there happens to be video, surveillance video that's been kept, you may have a hard time convincing them that that's where you got hurt, you know, was in their establishment. So,
and get prompt treatment, that's important.
That is very important, and that's, I've starred that, and you should all star that in your mind. Prompt treatment is the biggest problem we lawyers have in being able to prove somebody's case.
Because they waited too long.
They waited too long. You know, I get the, well, I'm not a litigious person, and so I just don't think of those things. Well, that's why you need to think ahead of time about, if you're hurt, you need to go get checked out. Maybe you won't have a case.
Yep.
But if you need to go to the hospital by ambulance, well, then obviously go by ambulance. But if you don't, I'm not suggesting that you need to take a ride you don't need to take, but you can drive yourself to the emergency room, or you can go to the clinic. You can go home and realize something's not right, and you know, my shoulder really hurts. You can call your doctor, get a same-day appointment, next-day appointment, see a nurse practitioner, do something that makes a record. And the other problem is people that do get hurt and they go in, oh, my hip is just killing me, you know, and so they don't mention the fact that their neck hurts too. Okay, and then so they go weeks, and then finally, you know, the hip got better because it was just a bruise, but it turned out they you know, herniated a disc in their neck, but they never mentioned it until 6 weeks later, 6 months later, you know. And is the insurance company going to believe you when that happens? Or are they going to say, you know, you can't prove it? And that's what's going to happen.
You can't prove it. All right, you've done all these things. Contact a personal injury lawyer. That would be you.
That would be me.
Okay.
Or somebody that's not as good as me. But yeah, if you've been injured, you've gotten some treatment, so you know that you've got a potential claim, call a lawyer, find out whether you have a claim or not, or what you need to do to protect your claim. That's another problem, is delay in getting legal advice because people do the wrong things and hurt their case. Some of the things we just talked about are things that we can still strap back in by getting that videotape, if there's one, doing some things that will, you know, rehabilitate the fact that you didn't do something at the scene that would have been best for you.
And explain it, right. And the rights and duties, I guess that covers that.
Exactly.